G'day and welcome back to another video. And today's video is a walk around my little YouTube review room here in Kitzbühel, Austria. And whilst I'm staying here, I'm going to try and make it as homely as I can and as more versatile as I can, because the big difference between here and my shed at home in Australia is size. This room is 1.7 by 4 meters. My shed back at home is 8 by 20 meters. It is a massive difference, so I can't have everything on display. So stick around and hopefully I can show you some of the design features I've put in this room to make it feel bigger and also to make it more versatile so I can change it at a drop of a hat. So let's get stuck into it. Let me take you a tour on my little YouTube review room in Kitzbühel, Austria. So let's kick off this room tour with a tour of my space, which I'm telling you will not take long. It is a very small space. So welcome to my little room here in Austria, in the beautiful town of Kitzbühel. It is 1.7 by 4 meters. It is full of wood, which is a bit of a pain, and the design of the room is not the greatest. As you can see, I've got an in-swinging door, which takes up pretty much half the space once the door is open. And these are the challenges I faced when I thought, do I tackle this room? As you can see, it does take up half the size of the room. But let's close that and let's have a chat about some of the smart options I think I've chosen to make this room bigger. Now, we are talking 1.7 by around about 4 meters. And the first thing I want to point out is how dark this room can get because of the wood. We are in Austria. They build their houses full of wood. It is stunning, but it's not good if you're trying to have a studio and some lighting. And as you can see, the light just went dark because there's too much natural light and there's not enough light to bounce around in here. So how do I tackle that? Simple. Let's paint the room white. I will not be touching the window surrounds, but I will be painting all the wood that you see white, which I think will make this feel a lot more airy, a lot bigger, user-friendly, and it'll make it probably a bit more modern because we are talking wood. Now, the natural light is stunning. It is great to be in here. It's refreshing when you're doing some editing, but for filming, as you can see when I stare at the light, it is not great. So how do I tackle that? Well, I will be getting some stick-on magnetic sheets like aluminium or similar that will stick on with magnets, and I can take them off when I'm not filming because these windows open up fully like the door, and you do not want to lose this natural light. So that's how I'm going to tackle those two really big issues, but a very simple fix. Now, before we move on to why I've chosen this style of bench and display, let's talk about this corner. Now, I had my bench in here, I had my computer in there, and this was the editing area, but I made the decision to move out of there because I did not want a permanent space to be fixed, and that's where I had to be to do editing because I do want to use this space. Now, I am flying between Austria and Australia a lot, so this will be a future-proof room, and that right there will be an area I can stack a lot of my collection that I do get over here because I will be continue buying stuff, and the stuff that I review, that is the perfect area to have against the wall and put a collection there. It's a little bit unusable, but for a collection, it is perfect. So let's spin around and talk about what I think is the smartest choice I made, which took me a long time. I did want to have some beautiful fixed benches that look stunning, but I wouldn't have had any room to swing a cat. So why have I chosen these and where have I got them from? Firstly, I went to Obi here in Austria, which is like our Bunnings in Australia, and these are available in Australia. So in your neck of the woods, go to your hardware shop and you will have something similar. These are pretty much the easiest shelving to put together. They just click together and they come in a 2-pack. You have the shelving and you also have this big open one here, which is great for box display or a huge collection that's deep and tall. And the reason I've chosen that is for that purpose. I do have a big collection in Australia, and when I do come here, I will be continuing to purchase stuff. So this will take a massive collection with ease. And I also can move these benches around wherever I want. I can remove them, take them apart, I can add more, which I think is great. It will use the space perfectly. And as you can see, it's given me a nice flat working bench space. It's flat. For those beautiful magnetic racing kits, racetrack scenic kits, or even a little drag strip if you want to do a HO drag strip. It just gives me a working space, 3D printing, whatever I want to do, I can rip it down, put it back up. It's really, really cool. And once they're painted, which I will do the bench tops white, and I might think about painting these, but once the room's white, I think it will look good. I reckon it's a great choice of storage. I'd love to hear what you guys think about those, but to me, I will be getting more of them just to fill the room out, but I think that's quite smart. Now, while I'm talking, I will be throwing up some image of why I think these are great, because yes, I can set a track up in here. I can move these tables around to take a big track if need be. Well, big for this space. I can tear it down and then go back to this layout, move my desk wherever I want. I can have it over here. I'm not going to put it back there because I don't want to be fixed, but I think it's a really good use of space. Now let's talk wall storage, because I do want to have some stuff on the wall. I want to make this room pop. We'll get to lighting at the end, but wall storage. Now, I have a love for die-cast cars, whether it's 118, 164, 143, and I believe I'm going to put a nice big display here of 164. So a nice either perspex or wooden display that I can put some individual cars in there, which that wall would take a lot. Now, this heater is definitely going, so I'll be able to utilize that whole wall for a really cool 64 scale display, which is probably going to be all Porsche, because I love Porsche. The back wall here, I have not decided. Once that goes white, maybe my banner, some other display area, or I can do some photographs of whatever I receive. That might be the area that we do that in the future, which I think will be really cool. The corners here, now this is probably the best thing about this room. Now, the light's going to really affect here. I'll try and get onto my t-shirt. Where this t-shirt is, I have some beautiful 118 cars, and I am buying some more, and I'm going to have some light up displays, 4 of them hanging off that wall, to take some big 118 auto art cars or whatever they may be, just to have them on display. And there will be 3 banks of those, one here, and potentially one in the corner, just to show off some other scales die cast, not just slot cars, because this will take all of the slot cars that I purchase in the future plus more. It's a lot of space. The back wall again as well, I will be having some fixed lighting coming in. There is some lighting behind that, which unfortunately it's old, so I do have to rewire it all. And behind this t-shirt is also another power point or access for a fixed light. So I will have some nice fixed lights in here that will help with the studio feel, but that's a thing to come. So I am covering them with Mike Zarnock's beautiful t-shirt.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Hot Wheels TV.
And Scarlett Sellers, thanks man. Now let's talk lighting. How am I tackling this as a studio? Now, massive thank you to Dave K. He did send me some options and I did go with one of them. And it's this beautiful little thing here. Now, I made a mistake and I'll tell you my mistake in a tick. But if you are watching at home, this is the Viltrox VL200T. Really good LED light. Does take batteries. Also, it's ran by remote control with power, as you can see down here. I have 2 of these and you can link them up. So when you turn one on, they both turn on. Brightness, dullness, yellowness. You can go real bright white or yellow tint. Really cool. But the mistake I made is I ordered them, but I didn't get any diffusers. Now this is frosted. Beautiful looking light. It is frosted, but it is still too bright for this room. So I am getting some diffusers to fit on that to give that real soft studio feel. And I do need some of their own permanent stands that I can move around, which I am using the camera one, but that is for the camera. So if you are buying lights, make sure you get some stands and some diffusers, and I will give a demonstration on how these work because they are pretty cool. Here is the remote. I do have one behind the Scale XL t-shirt just to have it on display because I don't want to lose it, but here we go. Let's turn them on. And there you go. There's 1, there's 2, full remote control. If I turn them off, they both turn off, as you can see, and they both turn back on. Now I'll be getting more of these, so once I turn them on, the whole room can light up. The good thing about these is I am in Europe, and whilst I'm staying here, I will be hitting the road, and these can come on the road with me, whether I run batteries or I use the power at the place I'm going, give a professional feel when I'm doing some studio interviews or if I'm just trying to review some products that's not at this home. So that is around about it. I am putting some die-cast cars up here. We're painting it white. I've got some great storage. And of course I can use this bench top as a track bench top. I can use the bench top to do all my workings on. All this space will take a massive collection. We've got some 118s on display going here. We've got a big display area here. So for a small space, I think we have a lot of room. Now track-wise, stay tuned because I have been setting up some Carrera tracks. That is the hardest track in here to fit. So I will be doing some videos in the future of how do you fit a really cool track in such a small space, which is challenging for me, but I can't wait to share that with you. I will be doing some Ninko stuff. I will be trying to get some Polycar stuff. Of course, Scale Electric. I will be doing a lot of different tracks in here. Hence why I've chosen this design of bench, just so I can use this room to its maximum ability. So don't be scared to have a small space. Oh, and I almost forgot, lighting. I did talk about the studio lighting. What else am I doing to light up the collection? Well, I've gone with LEDs, and these look really cool at night time. Yep, not too cool right now. I am running some more down the bottom, all the way along the bottom of this wall into the corner. So let's turn it off and back on. At night time, this looks very impressive. And the good thing about this wooden roof, up the top here, I have a cavity that I'll be running some more LED lighting down there, so it will give that beautiful effect at night time, and for me it's a nice relaxing space. So let's turn them off and let's wrap up this video. So that's a wrap on my tour of my little space here in Kitzbühel, Austria. I hope you did enjoy it, and I hope it gives you some ideas of what you can do in your space, because it's not the biggest space, but I think I have made it bigger by adding the stuff that I have. And I will do update videos as I continue to add to this space whilst I'm here in Austria, and I would love your comments and feedback. And once the LEDs are done and the white's done, I think it's really gonna pop. But as always, at That Slot Car Guy on Instagram and YouTube. When I do receive some tracks, I am gonna do different tracks in here: Carrera, Scalatric, Ninko, SEX, Polycar. It'd be great to get some ideas on what tracks you would like to see in here. But anything I do build in here, I will be posting on the channel. Hopefully you can replicate that at home. But be safe, take care, support your local. Ciao.